Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. I got a lot of information for you. Definitely with the universal price action method. I'm going to disclose a couple other things that you'll want to consider that will absolutely maximize your profit potential when it comes to the pullbacks in the market. So stick around. I'm going to give you that information shortly. And we're going to look at the daily really quickly, and then we're going to dive into that. All right. So I want to give you something that's going to really help when it comes to the market pulling back. All right. Let's do this. All right, so I got a lot of stuff for you. Universal threshold. This is how far the bar will pull back before the market continues. So this is the live candle. Give me one moment. All right, do forgive me for that. All right, so yes, I got the universal threshold here. This is the live candle, how far it will retrace before it resumes. And again, we're going to be talking about that pullback. I'm going to tell you a couple things that you'll need to utilize in order to get your pullback to actually give you some money. All right. Price action trend. I only count the bars. You only need to count to 10 in order to be able to pull this one off. And this is that price action method. And again, I'm going to tell you a couple tips about this. It's all about majority. That's the universal principle that I'm using in order to get this to work. I've been doing this for a very long time. There was no prop firms. You had to trade your own capital. That's how old I am. All right. That's that chart scale. So from left to right, I teach you how to use your bezel, how to know where price is going to turn at without having to look hindsight. I'm not going to do a lot of that in this video, but if you wanted to catch up on something like that, go back here. All right, go back to this video. This video here. I don't know what's going on with my mouse. All right, so go back to that video there, and you'll be able to see it. We're going to briefly. Let me go ahead and give you this. All right, so if you need professional grade education, all right, and I know again there's a lot of information online that's going to lead you astray. I'm trying to give you free stuff that would absolutely just change how you trade. But if you need it, this is what it looks like, and I got tons of videos here. It's not just the live sessions. I actually have, again, a lot of information for you that you could use if you are in the market already searching for that. All right. You don't need it. I'm trying to give you some free stuff that'll work. All right. So this was 5 months ago. All right. So 5 months ago, I said we need to close above 21,190 and a quarter, or we're going back down to 18,114, or possibly even lower. Let's take a look at that daily. All right. So let's take a look at the daily. Where did we come to? 16. And I was calling for that 5 months ago. All right, 5 months ago, and we ended up taking that drop. This stuff is not random. There's some other prices that I believe that they'll get to if they decide to turn back around after holding this high. I did say on the channel, let me show that to you. I told you that the turn is different. All right, so this decline is a bit different, and I've been covering that in the private community. I've been covering that in all throughout these videos ever since they was at the top. I can't pinpoint exactly which video that we started it, but it was up here. All right, and I've been calling that out the whole way down. All right, so a lot of information for you. The last video I shot, we were here. They managed to, of course, just gap down a bit, and then they came with that big, big, big jump. All right, and again, the universal threshold is important. All right, so this is where the universal threshold is. All right. This is where it's at, and it's on every bar. Okay, so let me blow this up just a bit. Those two lines, this is the wick zone. I went over that in the prior video. This is the wick zone. So how far the market may pull back before it resumes. So that's on every candle. It's universal. No matter the market or the time frame, it works. All right. Really simple stuff. We're going to look at the 1 minute. These are just some price levels that the market should respond to and just continue on. I know they made one up here on this high, but shouldn't have to worry about that. Hopefully, we'll just keep going up and get through here. Now, here are some prices that they actually hit. All right, so this is some prices they had hit, and we got a couple more that if they want to go back down, which I don't know if they can get back through here, which will be a problem if they do that. Then yes, we will go get those prices. I did tell you guys that they will end up here, should they not want to get this price here. So it appears that they're heading to get this. All right, so I know it's a little ways off, but that's up at that 25.5. All right, but remember, I did say that this decline is different. So they really need to be able to get through this. If they're going to break back down, again, you have some price levels in here. I'm not going to come back and cover this. All right, I want to say that I'm not. So they may have a problem with getting through this, but again, they're doing extremely well so far. All right, so let's hope that they can keep this up. And if they should be able to do that, yes, you can go ahead and expect them up here to this 25.5. All right. Now, let me give you that free information that you need about pullbacks. It's really simple. We're going to utilize the 1 minute. We're going to take a look at this. This is before 9:30. All right, so you have your trend, which is 7 bars closing lower. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's 7. All right, so actually we can't count this because that's happening on the trend. We want to get the bar after the trend. All right, so but they managed to make a trend back up, so you can't grab that. All right, because that's the trend bar. That's when it finished making that trend. So you can't grab that to go back down. You have to get the trend to come back in again. And then you want to break new lows. Now, this is the information I want to tell you. Every time and you're going to see it, every time you get a new break of a new low, the universal price action method will be a part of it. They made this low here, they turned it around. You're just trying to get that mid to fall beneath the bar's low. That's it. The moment that the mid, and you can do this in real time, if the mid fall beneath the bar's low, here comes your new low. Try to get this pattern. Here's the most important part. Try to get this pattern to show up near the turn. Okay, so the moment that it begins to turn around, you'll want that no touch to be a part of that. The closer it is to the turn, expect your new low. All right, and everywhere you see the blue line is them giving you your new low. Here it kind of happened really fast. Again, you can read this in real time while it's happening. Go back to some of the prior videos and you'll definitely see what it is that I'm saying about that mid. Once it falls beneath that low, just get in a trade. Hard stop there, get you a new low. Here's that pattern again, new low. Here's that pattern again, new low. Now, this one didn't work. I tried to outline that so you could see sometimes it won't work. You can't do it after the trend is set. Okay, so once you get 7 bullish bars closing back higher, you are no longer permitted to take that setup to get back through that new low. You can't do that. You have to wait. All right, so you have to wait. All right, so here you had the trend set. Of course, here on this bar, they pull back to the center of the trend. Here's the pattern. Get your new high. All right, you had your trend down here. The trend was set here. When it pulls back, there's your pattern to get that new low. And again, you can read this in real time. Don't let this bar finish and you're getting in it. Okay. The moment that this, okay, actually it needs to be here on that green bar. The moment you see that mid falling beneath this green bar's low, you get in that trade and you get that new low. Again, you want that no touch, no close pattern. This is the indicator. And I got tons of them that I can give you. If you want the indicator suite, I'm taking half off the indicator suite. So it's only $100. Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to do this as well because I don't want it to be any excuse why you can't have professional grade education. I'm going to reduce the private video access half off as well. So if you want private video access, you have to email me and say that. I want private video access for half off. I heard you say it in the video. Okay. Let me know that you heard me offer you this in the video, the private access, and I'll give you half off. So it'll be $500 if you want that access with the live trading, because I did live trading in there. And of course, there's tons of other information that I tell you about price action and how to read. Everything I'm showing you is centered around how to time the market, how to get closer, how to know when it should turn, things of that nature. So if you're interested, again, I'm going to give you half off, but you don't need it. Again, I'm trying to give you free information to get you there. But if you would want to invest in yourself, there should be no excuse why you can't get more education to do this as a profession. All right, because it's available for $500. All right, so here again, new low. You didn't get no new low here, so I just went on and marked that. All right, just mark that. That's a loss. Wait till it turns around. Here's your trend here. There's your trend distance. All right, so your trend is set here with 7 green bars closing higher, which is here. You project that distance. This is the new high. Okay, try to get up there. Okay, so you're trying to get that new high with that pattern. All right, you want to make sure you can get that. All right, so of course you had it here. They pulled back. Here's that entry. Get you a new high. Up here, you had of course this opportunity here. You get you a new high. It made the new high. Now when it turns around, this would have been a loss. Okay, would have been a loss. But once the trend is set, which it was on this bar, you count seven red bars closing lower. It would have put you here. That's that trend distance. This one wouldn't have worked. All right, this one wouldn't have worked. All right, they kind of stopped right here, and it kind of put you in it right on that break. Okay, I know this is not really big on as far as a pullback. It's not big, and they put you in it, then they flipped, but then they gave you that opportunity again, and look at where it's happening at. And this is what's important. It's happening at the turn. Okay, it's happening on the turn itself. Get you a new low. If it happens on the turn, get you a new low. You had one here as well. Okay, so you had another shot at it here. But again, try to take the first one. That's the other thing too I want to tell you. So it's two things I want you to know about this. Get it as close as you can to the top of the turn or the bottom of the turn. I know this one is a little further out. Okay, try to get them as close as you possibly can to the turn. All right. The next thing I want to tell you, the moment that the trend distance is set, try to take the very first opportunity if you can. I know you had one here, but then they, of course, lift it up, and you're going to lose sometimes. Try to take that opportunity as quick as you can to go get that trend distance, because once they hit the trend distance, they can become cyclical, and I don't want you to get trapped in that. All right. So again, here's your trend being set here on this bar. There's the distance that they need to go. Here's your, of course, your no touch, no close. Here's that indicator. That's the one we have, and I have again tons of indicators to give you. 400 bucks, tons, and I have some real time indicators too that flash, tell you pressure and all that stuff. Got little arrows that flash. A lot of stuff that you can use in real time. But again, the moment that this happened, the moment that this happens, the mid get above that bar's high, get you a new high. See, can you get the trend distance? All right. Same goes to say here, they made a trend down. You cannot take this one for the upside. You can't. They made the trend. Here's the trend bar, and then you have to go for this distance. Unfortunately, it's coming in late. Remember, I told you, you want to make sure that it's as close as possible to that turn when it comes to the pullback. All right, so it's coming in just a bit late. Then, of course, you had this loss here, but then they made a trend back up. Okay, now you don't have to take this one because the goal is to get it here when it turns. Don't try to get in again over here. No, try to get this one to work. All right, don't try it back on the inside. Sometimes that's not the greatest idea to do. Can you do it? Yeah, you could if you want to. And so let's do this. Let's do this. Because why not just stick with the one from above and see if it'll work? Because remember, you're supposed to be on this one, and you don't know it's not going to work until it stops you out. So why take this one? All right. But I'll mark it for you. There's the trend. All right. So now you have to look for that setup. It's not showing up before they made another trend down. Okay. And there's your trend down. So you cannot take any long side opportunities to get a new high. This can save you from getting stopped out and ran over. Here you go. So here's your trend. There's that setup. Aim for it. Okay. And then you had a couple on the way down. All right. So let me scroll through this a bit again so you can actually see it. Then the setup that I'm teaching that's universal will show up on absolutely all new lows, all new lows, all new lows. You're going to see it come in on all new lows. That's how robust it is. All right. Every time you get a new high, this pattern will be a part of it. It's universal. It's going to show up all over the chart. All right. Here's another new low. It's going to show up everywhere. All right. So no matter what market, what time frame, it's simple and it's not complicated. All right. So you're just trying to count those 7 bars. You want to make sure that you do that. And then, of course, you want to project the trend, the center of the trend, which is the cost of the thought. All right. The cost of the thought, the center of the trend. Remember, the market is just like us. Whenever you have an idea, you have the end in mind. So you know how far you're willing to go to get your idea to work. The market works the same. All right. So, and this is what they have done. Okay. Mark the center of that trend once they set it. Okay. Sometimes they'll come back to it. Sometimes they'll come back to it. Sometimes they won't, and they'll just chase on. All right. But go for that trend distance. Now, when it comes to the zones, 'cause I know you saw a couple zones here, I'll just compress this so you can actually see it. That's the information that you saw on that daily. Okay, so you, of course, you had a trend from back here as well. Okay, and they kind of just jumped up and they just kind of set sideways there, made a trend or so in there, and then they took off. But that's the daily activity. All right, so I want you to know that the most important things that you need to pay attention to is try to be a part of the absolute turn. So if they're turning back on the pullback, if they're going to resume back in that direction for the trend distance, you want to be on the absolute low of that pullback or absolute high of the pullback. You want to see if that no touch will show up on that turn. The next thing I want you to do is go for the new low. It will absolutely be a part of all breaks. Okay, that's how it works. You can see it here on the daily. It's a part of that new high. Even though that's not a trend there, it's a part of it. All right. When you get a trend down, because the trend was set here. Okay, the trend was set here on this bar down here. See if you can get it to come back in for that new low. See if you can get it to come back in. Let's see what we had. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. Okay, so they managed to reach down. Let's see what we got on our low here. Low 62. What is this low? Okay, so yeah, so we went 10. Okay, so let's see if we went lower. No, we pulled right back into it. They didn't want to break it straight away. So then they went up and made a trend back in this direction. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, actually, that's 7. We couldn't take this. That's 7 closing higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes, you wouldn't have been able to take that. So in order to get this new high, okay, in order to get the new high, let them pull back. Here's that pattern. Go get that new high. Okay, and it made that new high. And then of course they turned around and made another trend back down. All right, so that's my time with you again. If you would like to receive the discount for the information on the channel, okay, with the live lessons in there, half off. You have to say that you watched this video in order to receive that discount. If you would like to receive the indicator suite for half off, state that as well. All right, so you have to let me know that you watched this video to receive half off. And again, the education is there at 500 bucks. All right, so I don't care when you've seen this video. Okay, it can be 5 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. Whenever you see this video, if you would like to have access to better education that's beyond the scope of what's free, all right, now this is free what I'm showing you, all right, and there's some things that I can tell you about all of this that'll make what I'm showing you work a lot better. All right, so I do want to provide you an alternative, if you will, to learning something that's simple, that's not complicated, that's not convoluted with a lot of different things. I give you a lot of information, but it's all centered around what's simple. It's not complicated. One rule, two rules at best. All right. Every time I tell you something in those videos, you can just take one or two rules and apply it. You don't need everything. Okay. It's just like what's on this channel. I'm giving you 4 simple components when it comes to looking at the chart. The videos and the private access provides you alternative ways of interacting with price, but all centered around 1 to 2 rules. Okay, just 1 to 2 rules, and this being the foundation. But I tell you some other little nuances that they do, and know how to know that they're going to take off. Know how to know that they'll turn back around. Okay, you'll know that without needing them to turn. You'll know it. And so if you're interested in that information, do just let me know via email. All right. Or you can call, either which way. The information will be below the video. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.